Well, I'm sure many of you will be getting a new Xbox soon, whether it's for your birthday, Christmas, or just because you decided to treat yourself. Now, a good friend of mine, Chris, recently did the same thing, went out and bought himself an Xbox Series X. So given I run a video games YouTube channel and podcast, I thought I'd put together a guide of 10 games to check out on the Xbox. You're going to need Xbox Game Pass to check out these games, but it is incredible value. So if you don't have Xbox Game Pass, you really should give it a try. So I've made this list nice and varied, including new games, old games, surprise hits from 2022 and some modern classics from the last 5 years. So while this is a list tailored for Chris, hopefully you're going to find some inspiration in here as well. Without further delay, let's dive into this list. Well, first of all, we've got the Halo Master Chief Collection, so this is a great place to start. Here we've got Halo Combat Evolved, Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo 4, ODST and Halo Reach. And it's great to relive the multiplayer on the maps we played so much together. And it's also good to go back through the campaigns. Now, I didn't really appreciate the single-player campaigns or co-op campaigns at the time, but I have since learned to love them, and here is a great collection of story content. Now, originally, this collection was plagued with issues, but 343 Studios have done a great job in bringing it up to standard, and it's the definitive way to experience the Halo franchise these days. So I played a few games of multiplayer, and it reminded me of our setup in Middleton Road with 2 CRT TVs back to back, where we'd either be able to play against each other or as a team. You know, Halo 3 multiplayer probably lives most vividly in the memory, especially that level on the beach from the Halo 3 beta. Well, next up we got Somerville. So at the time of publishing this, Somerville is a brand new game from the co-founder of Playdead, who released classics like Limbo and Inside. This one is all about a catastrophe happened to a family, and you have to work to make your family whole again. So it's a sci-fi adventure where you have to navigate dangerous terrain and uncover the mysteries of Earth visitors. You know, developers have a pedigree, and once you're done with Somerville, I definitely recommend checking out Limbo and Inside. Well, next up we've got Dead Cells, and Dead Cells is a modern classic. This is a 2D side-scrolling action platformer, similar to Castlevania. As you progress through the levels, you collect new abilities and powers, and your objective is to clear the whole game with a single life. Now, it's tough, but it can be very rewarding when you get the right mix of weapons and abilities. So originally released in 2018, this game has had various updates since then, including new story and quality of life changes. It's also a shining example of game feel and how to get that right, because Dead Cells feels near perfect to play. It's fast, you got great jumping and dashing, plus the weapons have variety and a real heft to them. If you like side-scrolling games, this is one of the best. Well, next up we got Alien Isolation. So I always remember you talking about playing an Alien game with Jordan, you know, where you'd be in the tunnels and you'd see the alien creeping up behind you with that classic blip on the monitor screen. So Alien Isolation is probably the closest you're going to get to that experience. Rather than action, this is very much a horror survival game and stays very true to the original Alien movie. There's loads of suspense and a few jump scares, and the AI of the xenomorph is very good. You know, there's nothing more terrifying than crouching and hiding while the alien is slowly walking around trying to find you. You know, personally, horror games really creep me out, but this one may give you a healthy dose of nostalgia. Well, next up we got Power Wash Simulator. So this one is a strange one. It's a power washing simulator, and it's one of the breakout indie hits of 2022. The premise doesn't sound fun, but when you play the game, it is very therapeutic. This is all about power washing things, vans, gardens, various objects. You know, the power washing tool has various nozzles, much like a real power washing tool might have. Now, it's the perfect game to switch off to, maybe put on some music or a podcast or listen to the TV. Yeah, it's perfect if you've had a busy day at work and want to wind down. There's no puzzles, no frustrating combat, just get into the power washing zone and simply relax. Well, next up we've got Kentucky Route Zero. So this one is a text-based narrative adventure, much like reading a good book. It's also one of the best written video games of the last 10 years. The story focuses on a group of misfits on a mission to find the Zero, a lost highway that doesn't appear on any map. And in terms of gameplay, you walk and read and pick up clues. It's bleak and at times reminds me of something David Lynch might produce. It's one of those narrative experiences that stays with you years after experiencing it. Well, next up we got Titanfall 2, and Titanfall 2 is probably most famous for having the best campaign in any first-person shooter. It's got a similar look and feel to Halo, albeit you've got a huge mech, which you can jump in and out of throughout the gameplay sequences. If you like first-person shooters, this is simply a must-play. It was developed by Respawn, now famous for games like Apex Legends, a battle royale set in the Titanfall universe that was released to compete with the likes of Fortnite and PUBG. Titanfall 2 was originally dead on release because it came out during the release of Call of Duty and Battlefield in their heyday, meaning it didn't really find an audience for its multiplayer. Its campaign, however, is one of the very best. Well, next up we've got The Outer Wilds, and The Outer Wilds is an open-world adventure game where you get to explore a solar system. The twist is roughly after 20 minutes, the sun explodes and you have to figure out why and stop it. Each time you go through a playthrough, you collect different bits of knowledge and information. You have to put it all together and prevent the life-ending explosion. You got your own little spaceship and you can explore a number of different planets. It's all beautifully handcrafted with their own puzzles, life and vegetation. The game doesn't hold your hand, but it's worth persevering, as it's up there with the very best games released in the last 5 years. Well, next up we've got Halo Infinite. So Halo Infinite is 343's latest entry to the Halo series. It's an open world take on Halo. There's a huge campaign, plus a free-to-play multiplayer with many of your favourite modes. Now, this is one of the better feeling Halo games from 343. Halo 4 and Halo 5 didn't feel quite right to me, and this one feels much more like classic Halo than Halo 2 or Halo 3. So Halo Infinite plays homage to what Halo Combat Evolved did on the original Xbox. This game also has a bit of history, given it was supposed to come out in 2020 with the launch of the Xbox Series X. Then it was delayed for a year, only to come out pretty half-baked. There was a great reception on the multiplayer release, and then the player base quickly fell away and the complaints came in from the audience, saying it wasn't as fully featured as the Master Chief Collection. Personally, I think it's great fun and a good modern take on the Halo franchise. Well, finally, we've got my favourite one, and this, of course, is Destiny 2. So this is the one for me. Destiny 2, it's got a free-to-play version via the store rather than Xbox Game Pass. So this is the follow-up to Halo from Bungie and builds in MMORPG mechanics on top of what made Halo great. To me, there's no better feeling first-person shooters out there, and Destiny 2 does have a decent multiplayer if that is your thing. My main focus in the game is the PvE side, or the player versus enemies. That means story, campaigns, dungeons and raids. If you level up and get into the endgame, this is where the real fun begins, with huge 6-person raids, 3-person dungeons, and some of the most satisfying fun I've ever had in gaming. Destiny 2 can seem a little bit impenetrable sometimes, but it's good fun solo or with the team, plus it has a thriving community and plenty of people willing to chip in and help out. At its core, it is a first-person shooter, where you travel around the solar system killing bad guys in space. If you like the free-to-play version of the game, I'd recommend buying the Witch Queen expansion. That has a killer campaign. Also, if you are checking out this guide at the time of release, I do believe over on the Xbox store at the minute, every Destiny 2 expansion is about 50% off, so now is a fantastic time to jump into Destiny 2. Well, if you do get a new Xbox sometime soon, I really hope you enjoy it. Xbox Game Pass has a wealth of games in there. It's the best value in gaming for sure, whether you're interested in new games, classic games, or some of the greatest hits. Well, Chris, this one is for you. I hope you enjoy your new Xbox, and hopefully we can dive into a co-op game or something really, really soon. Well, that is it for my top 10 games you should get if you get a new Xbox and Xbox Game Pass. Well, if you find this guide useful, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you really, really soon.